There's a snake in the garden, and it's not a clickbait. Madam Jade is a senior manager in the IPC Strategic Investment Department and one of the 10 cornerstones. With the nickname Jade of Credits, she specializes in manipulating the desires of others for profits. In her free time, she runs the Jade Exchange, a shop that grants people's wish, no matter how outrageous it is, for a price. But did you know that there are a lot of hidden biblical references in Jade's trailer? Special thanks to Lality's Lore, who dissected the Jade trailer together with me. Please give her a subscribe if you haven't already. Throughout the trailer, there are carefully placed references to the 7 deadly sins. Of the 7 deadly sins, 5 were mentioned. The first to appear was superbia, pride. The second was invidia, envy. The third is gula, gluttony. The fourth is aestia, sloth, and the fifth is ira, wrath. Avaritia and luxuria are missing. In addition, near the end of the video, you can see that the IPC goon is hung in a cross, surrounded by snakes. This is a reference to the original sin and Jesus Christ, who died for humanity to have a chance of redemption. And of course, the snakes are the snake in the Garden of Eden, tempting Eve to eat the fruit of knowledge, leading to both Adam and Eve getting kicked out of the Garden of Eden. This, of course, is the beginning of the original sin of humanity. In the 2.3 Trailblazer quest, the quest where Jade was introduced was titled All About Eve, which is a reference to the movie of the same name. The movie is about the titular character, Eve, who snaked her way into the life of an older woman, Margot, as Margot's understudy. Eve's ultimate goal was to replace her and steal her life. At the end of the movie, Eve replaced Margot, but she was approached by a younger woman, Phoebe, who planned to do the same thing to her. This is, in effect, a way for the Hoyo writers to tell us about the relationship between Jade and Topaz.
Hello, Albert. Hi, everyone.
Thank you, Director Topaz, for still finding the time to attend the show during your business trip.
This episode is about introducing my senior. I can't afford to miss it, even if I'm busy. Plus, it's an opportunity to review Madam Jade's teachings.
So young and talented, yet so humble and ambitious. It is my great honor to co-host this show with the outstanding Director Topaz. My admiration for you is as much as your admiration for Madam
Okay, hold up. This episode is about introducing Madam Jade, not me.
Topaz strongly adores Jade and wants to be like her, while Jade also strongly enjoys Topaz's admiration of her. But of course, at the same time, All About Eve is also the quest to introduce us to Eve, who is, in the context of Honkai Star Rail, Jade. But that's not all. In this frame right here, Jade is depicted as Lilith, as a reference to John Collier's famous painting of Lilith. Despite starting off as an unrelated Mesopotamian demon, by the Middle Ages, Lilith had become the rebellious first wife of Adam in European Abrahamic religions and occultism. Also in the Middle Ages, in the art scene, Lilith has become the snake that tempted Eve from the Garden of Eden, as you can see here in the Sistine Chapel decoration by Michelangelo. And since in some versions of the myth, Eve had with the serpent, this means that sometimes it became Eve had sex with Lilith, thus starting the original sin, as seen here in Lilith and Eve, 1963, by Yuri Klappa. This is probably the inspiration for the relationship between Eve and Margot, as well as between Phoebe and Eve, albeit flipped in role now with Eve as the older woman, Lilith, in the original All About Eve movie. In other words, like the Eve in All About Eve, Jade is both Eve and Lilith, someone who was tempted by the fruit of knowledge, but at the same time, she also tempts others to commit the same sin as she did. Hence, why she is also codified by the 7 deadly sins in the trailer. Like the demons in Paradise Lost, she is the same type of demon as the ones in Milton's Paradise Lost, sinners that tempt others to become like them. Fun fact, in Evangelion, which is well known to be Hoyo's beloved, Eve and Lilith are also conflated to be different versions of the same person. But what's more interesting here is that Penacony has been repeatedly called Paradise by the game. So, effectively, Jade arriving at Penacony and actually setting up a shop where she tempts people by granting them wishes is a big red flag for Penacony. especially when it is 1-to-1 to the Croc wins bad ending in the Dream Joy Memoirs event. Literally snake in the garden. See, I told you it's not a clickbait. Even more alarming, from the 2.8 Trailblazer quest, it appears that Robin has made some sort of deal with Jade about Sunday, and Jade is now offering Sunday some sort of deal. The problem here is that the story of Sunday and Robin has been hinted to be a mix and match of Goethe's Faust. Who is Faust and who is Gretchen isn't exactly clear here, because we never knew the identity of the speaker in the painting. Both wanted time to stop and the paradise to exist forever, just in different ways. I personally think it's a mix and match between the two, really. But in any case, Lilith also appeared in Faust during Walpurgisnacht to tempt Faust to sin and forget about Gretchen. In the context of Penacony, the scene between Jade and Sunday is undoubtedly a reference to Faust and Lilith in Goethe's Faust, with either Robin and or Sunday in the role of Faust, being tempted by Lilith Jade into forgetting paradise. Of course, this being Faust, it means that whoever is Gretchen has a big red flag for a future execution. Gretchen might not stay dead, but she probably will die at least once. The funny thing is, this isn't exactly the first time Hoyo has used the Faust story in their plot. In fact, it's the 5th time. Once in Gun Girl Z, one in Honkai Impact 3, 2 in Genshin, and 1 in Honkai Star Rail. If you want more information about the 2 times Genshin used the Faust plot, you can check out my other video about Wolfie and the Boar Princess. The last thing I want to mention here is that there is an odd similarity between the eye symbolism in Jade's trailer and the heliobus eye that belongs to Tail in Hwa's trailer. There is also a repetition of the motif of the snake emerging from the black hole in both Jade Snake, which emerged from the Sea of Black Hole and became a black hole, and Ouroboros, who lived in the Sea of Quanta behind the black hole. Now, this could be due to their shared inspiration, Lilith, who, in some versions, fled to the sea after escaping from Adam and Heaven. In fact, Fate Grand Order even went ahead to use this part of the myth to conflate Lilith and Eve with Tiamat, the Mesopotamian mother goddess who lived in the sea. But still, considering the similarity between Jade's symbolic eye and that of Heliobe, the suspected astral fragment of the Leviathan, and how both Jade and Heliobe live on people's desire, it's something to think about. Maybe Jade Snake is a Leviathan after all.